What is up, realmers and pups, furries, fays, dragonkins, cryptids, mythical creatures, beings of consciousness, concepts of reality, gamers alike? How it be and what it is doing. Yeah, back with more of this very fast class. Um, I had a slip up. I think it was like 2 parts ago or something like that. Um, it's just, it is what it is. I'm pushing for this goal of having like more than 4 classes, and now I have to restart that goal, unfortunately. Um, it kinda is disappointing to myself, really, more than anything. But I think I just need 1 dexterity, and I'm fully maxed out. But that's just the thing, is that like I could have been at 11, but 11 classes in a row 5-starred without dying. But because I died to freaking grapes, of all things, I died to grapes. I sat on top of a freaking grape. Uh, I lost that streak. Um, I pretty much was like not paying attention to um, like where my footing is, basically my character positioning and stuff. So, that I guess that just happened, I suppose. Um, and yeah, I mean, pretty soon I'll be 8 out of 8. If I get 1 dexterity. But what I am really thankful for, ooh, yikes! What I am thankful for is this new prism. That's what it's called. I'm really thankful for this new prism that I have, because I'm able to, like, okay, I learned how to use it properly. So, oh, Chrysarev. Damn. Oh my god, he died. Rip, man. Rip. Ripping revving Harley motorcycles. But pretty much what I do is I press, like, let's say I wanted to go forward, back, and I click. So I go back, so I can just go click, and it'll go forward. So it's pretty much just like, if I want my thing, like my decoy, to go in a certain direction, usually I like doing that way. But then let's say it's over there, I want to right, click. So that way I'm guiding it in the right direction that I want it to go, because this particular prism will launch stuff at a 180-degree angle, which in this instance is 180 degrees opposite of the direction you're running. So you don't have to go directly towards what you want this stuff to go onto. You can just run, like, see, away from it, and there you go. It's a lot safer. It's a lot cleaner. Dang, I'm really regretful that I died, because now I'm like, dang, I'm not going to have a streak of 11 classes at this point. So now the possibility's only 7, I believe, because there's this one and then 6 more ahead. So it's a little disheartening, but what I am thankful for is I'm at 47% XP bonus, and I still have this piece of gear here that needs to get up to. Ooh, someone's got the skull, the skull. I guess the skull, because the necromancers use skulls to for their ability. But let's teleport on top of this roamer here. I like to ignore the bots, because hey, you never know. You never know. See? It still takes a little bit of getting used to, I'm not gonna lie. It takes a little bit. Oh, that's no bueno. Okay, here, let's be cautious. Send it over there. Maybe it'll start shooting that way. Yeah, see, it's shooting over there. There we go. Getting a good footing to have your decoy be where you need it to be is a little bit tribulous. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit tribulous, a little bit it puts you in some predicaments. So I'm not really too sure if there's any prisms in the realms that would inherently allow me to just send it in that direction without having to put myself in jeopardy whatsoever. But Lost Halls is a lot easier to accomplish. Here, I guess I'll try the Lost Halls. Me and Queen Dusk. Oh! Yeah, that's the thing though, is yeah, they left. Okay, I'm dipping. I'm not risking that. But yeah, that's the thing with Trickster, is it's really it's like a class where, like, if you feel like the game is too boring, then, you know, go for it. Don't be afraid to play this class, because it will definitely make the game a lot more, it'll make it a lot more risque, you know? It'll definitely make this game more of a challenge in order for you to properly play the class. Now, if you're just playing Trickster and you're pulling what I did on Mystic and not using the ability intentionally whatsoever for personal gain, then it's going to be like a rogue, except with just less damage. Because rogues deal a crap ton of damage, and I was playing rogue before. I was playing the rogue before the update happened, so most of the cloaks really did was just make you go invisible, or teleport you, or just other stuff like that. So I was a little upset about that, but at the same time, I was already quite a few classes ahead of the rogue, so I wasn't too bummed out about that. So I'm saying L. What are they saying L to? What's Mongol Elf saying L to? I don't know, but I'm gonna teleport over here real quick. I'm not gonna risk myself to get damage in, because the opportunity will present itself. All right, let's go. What's cool about this class is you can just keep boom, 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 hella fast. Extremely fast. Okay, so that's this is the gateway here, so I might as well get this little bit of extra fame. And let's take that out. Alright, and I'm gonna be cautious here. I'm gonna send my little lackey over there. And I'm gonna try to keep this there if I can. Keep this big old cow bull thing over there, because I don't want it over here. Queen Dusk is dishing that straight up heat of damage, dude. Dishing that pain. Peanut butter, no. I was gonna say like peanut butter and jelly or something like that, but that just didn't work. Another general, okay, not bad. So, what I do want to say though is that should I even say it? Yeah, I guess I'll say it. I pretty much the other day I was kind of like reflecting on the status of kind of where my content has gone and it's kind of taken somewhat of a serious tone to it. And I'm thinking about maybe taking like a day or two off just to make sure that I'm back in the right headspace, because I feel like with all of this like negative stuff going on in the world, you know, and then like all these crazy ass bills getting passed and everything like that, I kind of like kind of settled my mind in this mentality of being serious and feeling the need to talk about like serious topics and stuff like that. And it's just like that's not really what my channel is about. My channel's about just me having fun, and I realize that like I'm starting to talk more and more about like serious stuff, which, hey, is like that's totally cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing such things. It's just for me personally, I'm more of a like, if it's not affecting me, I'm not gonna be like talking about it sort of deal. Or if it doesn't pertain to the topic matter that's going on in the channel itself, I'm just more like, you know, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I've talked about like rumors that were spread about me back in like high school and stuff like that. I've talked about like an old friend of mine who, and I say old friend, emphasis on old friend, who was adopted by this family, and then not my family, but this family they were living with. He was adopted by them, and then it turns out that he had like a whole terabyte storage for like his laptop, and it was in there, and it was full of nothing but children, right? And I'll just leave it at that. But pretty much, I went on this high-speed chase with the adopted parents, because that's not something I condone. I don't condone that shit. Like, and in terms of like, you know, more like morally incorrect things, like where my morals lie, it's pretty much like cut and dry. I feel like at this point, like I don't agree with like racism and stuff like that, because it's just like people who are racist tend to classify an entire group of individuals, when it's like you're looking at some bad apples in the batch, and you're judging the whole batch based off of a few bad apples. And you know, I mean, stereotypes, tropes, that's a real thing. I agree with that. But like, oh my god, here I go talking about serious stuff again. See, this is what I'm talking about. Here, I'm gonna get out of there real quick. But you know, that's kind of what I'm talking about here. Is like, I don't know. I'll just continue what I'm saying now. But ooh, liquidify. That's a weird word. Or liquidify. Okay. Dang, ripping a blender. Yeah, no, that's the thing though, is that like, when it comes to kids, there's no, like, I don't know, for example, I've had a lot of people be like, hey, I would really love to add you on Discord. I'd love to be your friend on X, Y, and Z social platform, right? And it's like, okay, cool, yeah. Like, there's been instances where it's been like, yeah, sure, you know, fuck it, whatever. And then once they're at it, I'm like, oh wait, you're like a whole ass fucking like teenager, dude. Like, I'm not even comfortable being friends with someone who's under the age of 20. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really like, me personally, I'm just like, you're still a kid. And I say that because, I mean, I was there, I lived it. You know, and I'm just like, damn, like, you're still a kid. No, I'm a legal adult. Yeah, but your brain isn't fully developed until you're like, what, 25 years old, around there? So to me, you're still a child, you know. But like, there's times where, you know, if someone's like 20, they're about to turn 21, stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. I'm like, we can be acquainted, but at the same time, it's like, I'm still, even when you turn 21, it's like, you're still like a brand new, you're still like this brand new, like, quote unquote adult, because people tend to just bar. Oh, 8 out of 8. Nice. 8 out of 8, son. Just about 4,000 fame. I'm finally 8 out of 8. Okay. Souvenir, tempting. Yeah, but that's the thing, is that like, even then, I'm just like light acquaintances with an individual like that. I mean, even in this like current day and age, like, I'm not. I have like very few friends. Most of them are around my age or older, and it's just like, I don't know. If for me, it's like you still have yet to experience life and develop your own thought processes and your own perception of things. And you know, it's like, for me, I much prefer, like, if like, I have a friend where when I was working at Amazon, you know, he had a kid, a wife, all this stuff, and he was about my age around that time as well. And he was like, he had a lot of already set ideas on life, but he also wasn't like closed off to learning new things, stuff like that. And you know, it was like this thing of like, and I'm not saying like anyone who's my friend has to learn from me, but it's more so just like, it's more so like, oh yeah, this will go down. All right, sick. But it's more so like, if I'm having a conversation with you and you're like an immovable wall in terms of something that like we're talking about, like, example, like, there was one conversation I was having where I was like, I feel like Street Fighter is a better fighting game than Soul Calibur. And you know, my friend was like, I don't know, man, because I grew up on Soul Calibur. And I was like, well, that's where your bias lies then. Because I grew up playing a whole plethora of games, and, you know, like, I'm judging it based off of all the different experiences. Ooh, fatty nugget, rip. Or is that nougat? Yeah, rip. But you know, that's just the thing, is that like, I was basing it off of these different experiences, and they were like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, no, genuinely, like, I'm not trying to just, you know, bag on it just for S's and G's. It's just one of those things where, like, based off of my experiences and playing all these different games and stuff, you know, being locked in a room to play games as the person who took part in the ritual to birth me into my flesh and blood, pretty much made me and my fellow cryptid sit in a room all day whenever they had custody of us, and we would just play games all fucking day and night. And like, there was one time we stayed up just over 2 days in a row, trying to figure out ways how to beat Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1. And you know, we did this. We played side scrollers. We played fighting games. We played RPGs. We played first-person shooters. We played a whole plethora of different games and had this experience with judging them and reviewing them and taking our time, because we wouldn't get new games often, and so whenever we did, we would play the living hell out of that game, dude. Like, that was I remember we got Gauntlet, the Dark Legacy, and we ended up playing Gauntlet, and we found out that there's this area in this like Coliseum type of thing where you would be able to sit there inside, because these enemies just kept spawning and they didn't stop. They like would not stop spawning. But the thing is they constantly gave you experience. Like, every time they gave you experience. And so we were like, here, I gotta catch up to this guy. And so we were like, wait a minute, we were able to identify as like younglings. We were like, oh wait, so we can literally sit here in this little boxed up area where their spawn is and farm experience until we're level cap. Because it was like the game allowed you to basically do like New Game Plus, which was pretty much like you would get all of these like armor upgrades, weapon upgrades, ability upgrades. Well, I think it was just armor and weapons upgrades, but they were through like hidden chests and stuff. But you were also able to level up like certain things, like skills or whatever. And so we would have our characters set up in a certain way to where we were able to pretty much hit that cap. And so that was really fun. But that's the thing, is that we were subscribed to Game Informer, and so we would check out all the updates on all these new games coming out, and we would play the game through the pictures. Like, we loved games because, I mean, maybe that's where my biasness is where that's what got us through those pretty harsh times, those neglectful times. And you know, it was just like, I was explaining this all to my friend, where, you know, like, hey, like, because, you know, pretty much he was asking me like why, you know, which, hey, again, is another quality trait of, all right, cool, yeah, that's a person, that's a being of consciousness I can respect, because you're asking why, you want to know why, and you're not closing yourself off to other possibilities, you know what I mean? And because I think that's where you limit yourself and you stop growing as an individual, is when, you know, you stop asking questions, you stop, like, you're just like, I'm at my peak right now, but like you're only like 20 something, you're only 30 something, and it's just like you still have decades left to live, and you're limiting yourself by closing your mind off from progressing into a more aware and a more educated being of consciousness. And so, you know, he was asking why. I explained it to him, and he was like, you know what, I'll have to replay both of them again, and I'm gonna check it out and stuff like that. And then, you know, like a week or so passed, he comes back to me and he's like, Oh, dude, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Street Fighter is a better game because... Sorry. He's like, Street Fighter is a better game than Soul Calibur because it's a lot more balanced. You know, you don't... Because in Soul Calibur, there's always a character that was just extremely overpowered. And, I don't know, that's just, for me, Soul Calibur was like... If there's a technique to use... Uh-oh. Hold on one second, I gotta lock in. Yikes, that's sick and pretty scary. Woo! Damn, made it through that. All right. Dang. Yeah, rip to all those roamers, man. Rip. Rip to small mind. Rip to this, rippin' intelligence. The Silk Road, rippin' drugs. Leonardin, rippin' an Oscar. And laggin' Bixels. Rippin', ripping bandwidths. Ooh, no, not me. That was spooky. I'm glad I'm able to run fast, though. So I can actually get some damage in. Ooh, yeah, no, stay over there. But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that, like, when I also, like, with my friends, too, like, I want to be able to take their advice, and I want to be able to think about it logically and all that good stuff. But that's the thing is that, like, I don't know, like, when it comes to certain topics, like, for example, like, with games, oh dude, yeah, like, if I have an opinion on something, it's like, don't take it with a grain of salt, like, actually think about it and ponder on it when it comes to games. For them, you know, I guess the opposite factor here could be sports. You know what I mean? Because they're into sports. Me, I'm not really into, like, you know, athletic sports. I'm more into, like, esports. But if they would tell me, like, oh dude, no, like, this team isn't the best because such a yucky phase there. Alright, let's move. I mean, for me, it's just like, you know what, yeah, I'll take your word for it over mine. Okay, I think it's That's all the damage I can. Oh! Ooh, nice. Ooh, don't. But you know, that's the thing is that, like, I don't, also, like, I won't try to, like, holy shit. Alright, yeah, I'm out. Alright, here comes the tornado. Ouch, was that 300 damage? Did that just deal 300 damage to me? Holy shit, that just dealt like 300 damage to me. That's spooky. Okay. Let's not get in a bad position here. Alright, let's go this way. Holy shit. Was that my decoy? I don't even know where he's at. Okay, he's across from me. Here, let me focus in real quick. I'm not getting like any damage in. Okay, those things are gonna boomerang. Nope. Alright, next. Hell no, I'm not dealing with that. No, but that's the thing is that, like, pretty much leading back into the original thing I was talking about was is the fact that, like, you know, that whole, like, that my, like, old friend, you know, like, even back in, like, high school, he was like, oh man, dude, what about this chick? I'm like, isn't she a freshman and you're a senior? It's kind of weird, man. And he was like, no, dude, it's not, because, like, she's, like, hella mature. And I'm like, that's what, like, a pedophile would say. And he was like, man, you know I'm not one. We're cool, man, right? We're cool. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm your friend. I'm gonna try to advocate for you not to make shitty decisions, though. You know, because at that point, what type of friend am I if I'm not trying to get you to not make bad decisions, you know? He was like, nah, you're true. Right, man, right. And then there was this absolute gooner of a fucking dude, man. Like, all he ever did was, like, try to get in girls' pants and shit. And, like, he was like, ooh, just in time. He was like, yeah, I overheard him too at lunchtime saying this type of shit too. He was like, yeah, I know that, like, your mom and dad are fighting and stuff like that, but, you know, it would benefit you more though if, like, you just totally didn't say what, or I'm sorry, you totally just didn't do what they say, right? And like you should like fight back with them by like, you know, maybe we can hang out after school or something behind the um the so pretty much it's like we had like this like makeshift field that was for like the baseball kids and stuff. And pretty much like when kids are like, yeah, like in the school would be like, yeah, like let's go hang out over there. It's so like they can go like make out and like do other shit with each other. And like um she was like, no, I just wanna like be happy and stuff. And he's like, you can be happy if like, you know, you and I just like get together and like, you know, maybe we can just like rebel against your parents and shit. And I remember I was just like, I like looked over, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And he like kind of looked at me, and he just went back to like doing his thing. And she was like, well, I guess, but like I just need someone to talk to. He's like, yeah, we can talk. And then the next day she was talking to like her like friends that were in that area, because that was the area I would eat my lunch at and stuff. And then I'd go over to the chess room, like the chess club room where like all the chess kids are playing chess and stuff. And afterwards, because lunch wasn't allowed inside that room for some time. Later on in the school year, the teacher who was holding that was he started allowing for the lunch to be eaten in there, so the kids could play chess some more. But pretty much, I'm eating my lunch and I hear her. She's like venting to her friends, and she's like, "Yeah, we went over there, and like I was just trying to talk. I just wanted to talk about how like my parents are like about a like fucking divorce and shit." And you know, he starts asking me to like see my boobs, and he starts like touching my thigh and all this stuff. And but pretty much that same guy my old friend started hanging out with a lot. And so like that's pretty much like a rapist in the making, if you ask me. Like someone who just is just sexually driven and doesn't have that like empathetic emotional intelligence to read the fucking room. You know what I mean? And my old friend started hanging out with him a lot. And I was like, hey man, you know, that guy's bad company, dude. Like I don't think that you should start hanging out with him. He was like, nah dude, he's actually really cool. Which was like, I was like, oh fuck, you know, because like even at that age I was able to like read the room. You know, I was able to see the signs if someone's a not so good person. And at least for the most part. And pretty much fucking he ends up having all that bad shit on his computer. And then sorry, one second, I need to focus here. I've lost way too many characters here. Okay, one sec. Alright, let's get that decoy over there. And then yeah, lo and behold, I get hit up by the adopted parents that who adopted my old friend. And now at that time, he was not like, we weren't on good terms around that time, but he was still open to hang out and stuff. And they hit me up, they're like, you're the only one who can like find him. And you know, he just like disappeared, but we looked through his computer and we found he had this like this hard drive on it. And we opened up the hard drive and there's just files upon files upon files of kid stuff pretty much. And I was like, absolutely, yeah, what would you like to do? They're like, oh well, you know, maybe you can like ask him to meet up somewhere and we'll be in the area. And I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. And I was like keeping in close contact with them. I was like, all right, cool. So here we are. We're meeting up at this time. He says he's bringing his new car that he bought, and they were like, that's not his car. He stole that from his mom, who's currently sick in the hospital right now. And I was like, what? So not only is this guy a freaking pedophile, but you know, he's stealing from his sick mother who's in the hospital. I was like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, I'm even more excited to be doing this type of shit. And you know, we met up at a park, and he rolls up, and there's some like really young looking, like, holy shit. Wow, that was so fucking scary. God damn. Alright, let me get in here. Whoo! My heart's pumping. Okay, but anyways, he rolls up with some really young looking, like, gangbanger dude. And like, the gangbanger dude, like, he's young. And at this point, we're older. You know, like, we're out of high school at this point. No. Yeah, no. He was out of high school at this point. He graduated. I was a senior. And, oh, God. Fuck this place, dude. Carboniferous is the fucking worst. Like, dude, take out the fucking ads. Sorry, but anyways, and this young kid is kind of like just like mean mugging me, and my old friend is like, hey man, you like the whip? I was like, oh dude, yeah, no, this is fucking sick, man. Where'd you get it? He was like, oh, you know, I cut a deal with some, I went to a car lot, cut some deal, and you know, he sold it to me for 3,000. Which I'm like, at that time, I'm like, I know you don't have, you know, 3,000 flipping buckaroos, man, you know, but, and I was like, oh no, that's sick. I was like, how many miles has this thing got on it? You know, I'm like asking him a bunch of these questions, because at this point, his adopted parents are hiding in the area. The mom was hiding behind a tree with her hood up. She was kneeling down behind it, well, like kind of laying against it, behind it, kind of. And the dad, the adopted dad, was somewhere else. I actually didn't know where he was, but his truck was kind of down the ways, like down a bit of ways, and you know, my old friend was like, yeah, no, it's cool, man. Hey, hop in. Like, because I think he started getting a weird vibe from me at that point. Because it's like, you go to pick someone up and they're just standing outside the car just asking you a bunch of questions. You know, I think anyone in any situation is going to be like, what's going on here? You know, is someone about to run towards my, like, driver's side window and, like, pop a cap in my skull or something? You know, but he started getting sussed out about it. And then I feel a big ass hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, and I hear, move please. And I was like, okay. So I back up, and the adopted dad, mind you, this guy's like 6'4", man, huge. He's a mechanic. I don't know why being a mechanic makes you like scarier, but you know, he just really big dude. They're a biker couple, so they're not strangers to getting into physical altercations. And so, you know, my old friend sees him, and the adopted dad's like, just pull over a bit. I just want to talk. And he peels it. My old friend peels it. And you know, then the adopted dad looks at me and is like, follow me, let's go. And then we run over to his truck, we sit in his truck, and fucking, you know, we start going on this high-speed chase through the town. And he's like, here, hold my beer. And he hands me his beer that's already been opened. And you know, I'm holding that beer. There's another one that I was about to have too. Okay, it's Bubbles. I gotta back up. I was gonna have as well because, you know, he was like, here to calm the senses. He's like, only drink half. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I'm waiting, right? Because I'm like, if we get pulled over and I'm drinking this shit, you know, and it's on my breath, and this guy's gonna get in trouble. So I wasn't drinking at that point. But then we end up on the highway, and we're going like 120, like we're going hella fast. And you know, we lose him, and I was like, you know what? I know him. If that's his mom's car, he's gonna return it. And then, you know, we park like a few blocks down, and pretty much we wait there. We're there for quite some time, and we're kind of like by where like the house side gate is, and it's right next to the garage, pretty much. And you know, he pulls up, but this time he has this like again a young person, but it's this like early teenage chick, but she's in the passenger seat, and he pulls up to the driveway, getting ready to park, and, you know, here comes his adopted dad walking up, and he knocks, and mind you, the driver's side window was rolled down, and so he knocks on the top of the car, and he's like, hey, he's like, put it in park. And what my old friend does is he leaves the car in drive, unbuckles his seatbelt, and crawls over this teenage girl, and she's freaking out. She's hella freaking out, and he's freaking out too, because, like, dude, there's a 6'4" dude you just made chase you on a high-speed chase through the town, and then, you know, freaking on the highway, because you know you're you know, guilty of that shit. And then now he's at the place you did not even expect him at. You dropped off this other kid that you went, you know, high speeding with, who has no clue why, that you're probably telling him like, oh, it's because I'm black and stuff like that, because that's what happened coming up. Pretty much, you know, he crawls out the side, but then freaking his adopted mom shows up, and she's like literally tackles him to the floor. My old friend, she tackles him to the floor, and Raptor Jura ripping Jurassic Park. But she tackles him, and you know, she knew jujitsu, and so she puts my old friend in a lock, and now he's screaming out, help, rape, all this stuff. And then the dad comes over and is like, I got it from here, and he gets up and he starts handling the pedophile. And you know, the mom starts going over and is interrogating the girl. She's like, how old are you? How fucking old are you? Don't lie to me, because if you don't tell me, I'm gonna treat you like an adult. I'm gonna treat you like a fucking adult. Don't fucking lie to me. How old are you? All this stuff. And she was 16 years old. And so it was this moment of she was like shit's about to hit the fan if you don't if she was like if you don't want to be part of the shit, then walk your fucking ass home. And the girl just starts walking, like she just starts walking away. And then my old friend, the that sounds weird to say it like that. My old friend, pretty much like his neighbors start coming out, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? And you know, it starts, you know, raining chaos, dude. One of them goes back in their house, comes out with a pistol, and now they're aiming the pistol at everyone. And then you know, the adopted parents are trying to explain that, like, hey, look, this guy has, you know, we found out that he's a pedophile, and he's been living with our children, and all their children are girls. Some of them are like at that time, I think like fucking like 4 years old, and up, but none of them were adults. All of them were teens and younger. And you know, it was this crazy fucking moment. And you know, the cops show up. They put my old friend in cuffs, and you know, he's looking around, and then he looks at me, and he's like shaking his head, like all disappointed, like, wow, you really snitched on me, you know. And I was like, hell yeah, man, I'll do it all over again, you know. And that's the thing, is that, like, there's some things in this world you don't allow, you don't put up with, you stand up for, you know. And you know, like, my morals have pretty much always been the same. My morals have pretty much always been the same. It's like I never felt like being, like, even being friends with like younger people than me, right, was like never like acceptable to me. I was always friends with older people, which inherently was not really like a good thing, because here I am being friends with like 30, 40, 50-year-olds, and then here I am, you know, dating a 47-year-old, a 35-year-old, and these are women, by the way. And so it's like I don't know, I've experienced that stuff, and it's like, but even at a young age, I wasn't friends with people younger than me, just because I just felt morally incorrect. It felt wrong. And so, you know, yeah, it's just I don't know, that's just a crazy story with my life. But I mean, some people would say that makes me a fake friend. But I don't know. I tried to prevent some shit like that happening many times. You know, I spoke up openly about it. I'm not one to sit there and lollygag and be worried that what I'm going to say is going to lose me a friend, because I feel like my standards are pretty in check. You know, I don't wish death upon people. I don't like, I don't value demoralizing others. I don't see that as like a positive affluence to my environment, anything of that to that degree. Wow, look at that. 2 legendaries in a single bag. That's sick. Too bad I can't benefit from it. But yeah, no, that's just the thing, is that's just the thing is um, I don't condone that type of stuff, and I will sell someone out. Like if they're in my clique, in my friend group, and they are talking to kids, I will 100% sell them out. If you're in my friend group and you know you murdered someone, depending on the reasoning why that happened, just like either if it was for like a really stupid, dumb fucking reason, then yeah, okay, I'm selling you out right there on the spot. Servoactive, diligence, oh man, ripping due diligence, and servoactive, ripping. Ripping malware, I don't know. I'll take that. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's just the thing is that like, depending on the reason why you like, you know, just at that point, like if it was like, this person molested my son or daughter. Okay, just hope that the cops don't question me about it, right? Like at that point, I don't feel the need to. It's like, yeah, you took someone's life, but it's like, you know, they're diddling your child. I mean, obviously, like, people can make accusations and they can be like, oh, I did it for this. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I'll treat them the same. Hell no. Cause again, like I got morals, man. And I understand that you're capable of taking a life. So, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna treat you differently. Probably gonna start talking to you less. You know what I mean? But I might not, depending on the reasoning, I might not like go straight to the cops about it. It's just one of those things where it's like, at that point, my political views kind of step in, because I don't really like cops, man. I don't really like cops because at least today's cops. Because like back then, you know, cops, sheriffs, they actually would try and pledge like a loyalty to the community. And they saw themselves as public servants, and they treated their job as such. And nowadays, it's more so just for like community politicians to like enforce certain things, to bully, harass individuals, kick homeless out of their encampments, shit like that. So it's like, I don't know. The cops today are kind of. I don't know. I feel like they serve a bit of a different purpose. I feel like they're trying to militarize police to a certain degree, and any cop would because I went to college for administration of justice at one point in time. If you don't know what that is, that's pretty much me trying to get a degree so I can become a police officer, get paid more than others, and just apply outright. And then eventually become a SWAT tactical commander. And so I got to learn a lot. Like I was even in cadets for quite some time, which is a youth police program where you would actually earn rankings and stuff just as you would in the police force. You learn 10 codes, all that shit. And you know, the more I learned, the more I dipped into it, the more I realized that it's literally, and police officers, at least in the United States around, there's going to be at least one officer that's going to let you know that it is a business. You got to hand out tickets. Because then how are we going to get paid? You know, you got to hand out tickets. You got to, if, you know, you drive around all day and you don't hand out a single ticket, You know what I mean? Like, there's starting to be quotas now for that type of stuff. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. So I'm not speaking out of biasness here. I'm speaking out of, like, quite literally, like I studied for that type of shit. I studied for that. I wanted to learn how to be the best cop I could and to help those. And again, like, a common theme you're gonna keep hearing from me is I wanted to be a hero in some way, shape, or form, a positive force on this planet. Because through all of the bad stuff that I've personally been through, I let that push me and drive me to want to be better, to do better, to be the opposing force to the evil that I've witnessed and was personally put through. But, you know, and that's the thing, is that I ended up dropping out of college at that point because I was like, I'm not gonna risk my life and put my life on the line for this garbage, for what it means to be a cop nowadays. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And so, yeah, I don't know. That and my priorities changed because certain beings of consciousness entered my life and stuff like that, you know, and I'm just like, I want to live longer, and, you know, I don't want to pull someone over who I don't know has a warrant out for their arrest, an unregistered firearm, and they're just ready, like, they have cop killer tattooed on their forehead, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want that, you know? So ooh, someone, ooh. Alright, let's try 03 one more time. I'll try this one more time. Dang, I missed their clover, that sucks. Okay, so that's not the void ambrosia, but it looks like an ambrosia of sorts. But yeah. I put the decoy right in front of them, that sucks. Did not mean to do that. I think this one he just picks a random. Nice. Ooh. Oh. I'm gonna try to be more wary not to put myself in a crummy position again. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Got it on recording. That wasn't me. But yeah, I mean, I've lived one hell of a life so far, and I still got decades ahead of me. You know, I'm excited for them. I'm really hopeful for a better future, and, you know, I just hope that I can contribute to such a thing. Nah, don't weaken me. Jesus Christ, go down, dude. Damn, it's still up. God God, that took long enough. Ooh. Give me that damage. Oh, it's yep, Exalted. Halfway. Exalted always starts halfway. Whatever the health is, it always starts halfway. Is that person's name Black Hero? Okay, yeah, yikes. Those deal 200 damage, dude. This thing's getting annoying. Jesus Christ. Alright, we're gonna head over on this side. Gotta pay attention here. Okay, the decoy doesn't work on this part. Ooh! That was spooky. Damn, it sucks. I want to get in for damage, but I can't get close. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna back away. I'm like really, I don't know what's going on with me right now. Alright, come on. I don't know how to get damage in on this part. It just seems like it's just like a get away from me type of phase. Alright, you're rotating that way, I'm following. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, great. Holy shit. Okay, that was spooky. Alright, get damage in, get damage in. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. Jesus Christ. God, get the pet stasis off, man. Dude, that's horrible. And of course, again? Whoo! Whoo! The moment I saw purple, I clicked. Yeah, no, I'm good off that, man. I'm good. Gosh. It's like you get Oryx 3, you don't get Oryx 3. It's kind of like a hit or miss with them, I guess. So, but with that being said and done, thank you all so much for supporting this series up to this point. I really do appreciate it. Next part, I'll be at 59 stars, and then now I need to earn 10,000 fame, which I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. I noticed that Oryx 3 takes up the bulk of my time that I've been doing. So what I'm gonna do is, to be more fame efficient, I'm gonna do the mini boss, which usually doesn't take that long, and then I'll just Nexus and go straight back into another realm. So I hope that that's gonna reduce the amount of parts needed and required. I'm pretty sure it will. But yeah, so with that being said and done, go drink some water if it's been a while. If you smoke cigarettes, quit smoking cigarettes. If you have like any chores, college work, errands you gotta run, I recommend doing all of that. Clear your slate of things you gotta do before you game, right? Positive things, good things. I'm not talking like bad things that's gonna harm yourself or others. Don't do that. But most importantly, take care of yourselves in a healthy and responsible way so you can game yet another day. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next part, during the next part, at the time of which is the next part, once I get to the next part. So until the next part, I'll see you then and there at the next part. Alrighty, look in the mirror, say, "You're awesome," as you point at whatever you see in the mirror, and respect yourselves, love yourselves, and until next time, bye-bye for now. See ya. See you later. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.